I don't need the countdown. I like the countdown. It sort of lets me know I'm about to do this thing. Uh, but I, I don't have my coffee, which I really, really need to do this thing. So, let me swap this out of here. Get rid of this. Thank you. How long is it gonna take me to make a cup of coffee? It's gonna take like 5 minutes. Dag nabbit. I need coffee. All right. Normally I make it, then I forget to bring it in here. Now I totally just forgot to make it. Um, so yeah, so let's start off. Today is Dougie Doug's last day with me. Uh, can't say I'm gonna miss the little bastard, but I am gonna miss him. I mean, like I said, you can't be mad at children who err. You have to be mad at who taught them what and why would they do this, especially when they do it regularly, right? You two didn't teach them discipline of being in a society. So yeah, I can't really blame Dougie. I blame my nephew. But that's all right. Love my nephew. Won't be doing this again. And now, what we are going to do, I hope, is you show me a modicum of kindness and allow me to make a cup of coffee. Oh, camera covered. There you go. Dip, 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 dip. All right. So, how long should it take me to make a cup of coffee? I would say, I honestly would say, is that water hot? You know what? I'm going to turn the water on. Then I'm going to come back here, talk smoke with you. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to do this. We a wire woza. Let's cut this light on too while we're at it. Oh yeah. Yoga pants, not yoga pants. I actually like them tucked in. Around. Ooh wee. So yesterday, what a night shift. I mean, when I say night shift, I mean night session. Uh Dougie Doug was just being his cute little adorable self, but in also just being the king of untrained pups. And like I said yesterday, the only good thing was that he wasn't bigger. He's not like a Rottweiler or anything. Because it's fairly simple when he pees all over the place, other than peeing on my books. Get like 3 bounty sheets, you know, and step it down and soak it up and get it out of there. But with a big dog, and I've had a big dog, you need a mop, right? So I guess I'm lucky in that way. But at the same doggone time, doing a favor for somebody shouldn't cost you anything. And this cost me. And you can't be mad at dogs. It just makes you a sinister person. It's like being mad at children because they do something. Being mad at 3-year-old, right? If you don't want them to get into your lipstick and paint on the walls, you might have looked at where you went wrong because little kids are about painting on the walls with lipstick, right? I mean, they age out, right? Your 12-year-old isn't doing it, but your 3-month-old will. So I mean, you gotta monitor these things. You gotta teach them. No, no, put that down, and then eventually, when they're 3.5, 4, they'll know that's daddy's lipstick or whatever. It's the modern era, right? It's daddy or mommy's lipstick, and they don't want me to touch it. I will go do something else, right? It's called, my mother called it home training. We all get home training, right? It's why you don't walk out and pee on everything because you know that there's bathrooms and there's societal standards. And a lot of this, I'm finding all the societal standards, and I'm going to do a show on Black unity in the Black community, and people will not like it. All the friggin' standards that you should have for yourself in the Black community are sort of a bygone thing. Everybody does what they want, and because I'm the man, I'll listen to you, and that's generally the census. The women will get in your face, the men will get. No one works together for shit, which is why the civil rights movement is over. Because let's face it, you have to work together for shit in the civil rights movement, and everybody just wants to tell you about civil rights. Ooh, first shot. Tell you about civil rights, and then sell your book. Tell you about civil rights, and then push that album, which is all about violent ridiculousness, right? So nobody's serious, and I was only being used to get people elected and to sell you on something, and that's why my whole thing is rage. Rage at that, rage at them when I deal with it. But I'm not going to rage every day. I'm going to be here playing the guitar. And when someone rolls up and goes, oh, this social justice thing, I'm going to be, you need to stop right there because let me tell you the whole history about who you're talking about. So, yeah, I was thinking about my 13, which I'm going to start tomorrow when Dougie leaves, restart tomorrow. And I was thinking about one incident where I got into this, I wouldn't call it an argument. I got to go get this coffee. I got into it with this woman, and she ended up telling me I was for male patriarchy and all this stuff. And I was like, fuck you, lady. I'm like, what male patriarchy am I for? Tell me this. White lady, it was a white lady. This was in Brooklyn. Like, your whole argument of, I'm the problem because I'm a man. I can sit here and go, you're the problem because you're a white woman. What are you talking about, right? So her argument, I think, ran out of steam. And the only way she could salvage herself was to attack me. And she decided to attack me with a hand that is the laziest hand. I have no power to stop you from getting a job, lady. You know what I mean? What is my not white male? What is my male patriarchy that you're accusing me of? Especially since, I was a civil servant and she was here working in college, she didn't work. She didn't have a government job. She had a private sector job. So it could have been anywhere. It could have been Enron, it could have been Bank of America, but the idea that you're already coming into a place where a lot of people feel you're not welcome, pushing people out. And I'm trying to be cool to you, even though you're in my environment. I don't want to hate everybody. I mean, we're in a bar talking, chit-chatting, right? A lot of us should have been like, you shouldn't be in this bar. Get out of here. Go hang out where people want you. But no, she's going to be here. She's going to be welcome. And then she's going to, what my mother used to say, show her ass, which is essentially, let me tell you why I am important and you are the problem. And then she pulls out this, not matriarchy, patriarchy thing on me, a civil rights guy. No, I'm not even going to humor that. And this leads into the other thing where how I talk to women. Like I said, I have a ton of women in my family. No, they will let you know what they think. Period. And I support that. And I will slam them when it comes to slamming them and their family, right? I love them. And I take no liberties with them. I'm still trying to get invited to Thanksgiving dinner and talk to people and have you love me tomorrow, right? But when you're wrong, we get into it. And we get into it in real ways and in real tones. I've been with other people who don't like if you raise your voice, because I'm like, come on, man, like my voice. Oh, they consider that yelling. They didn't want you to stop yelling. They didn't want you to conform to all these things. No. You're not going to control my language. You're not going to control how I say what I say and when I say what I say. And I get a lot of that from these. I can't believe you spoke. No one's ever. And I was like, maybe someone should speak to you that way. You're ridiculous. Get away from me with this nonsense. I'm the patriarchy. All right, as a patriarchy, get out of this bar. You're not allowed to drink. Get out of here. What are you talking about? You're just pulling stuff out of your head that you read in like women's magazine or something. At the end of the day, black men don't have any patriarchal power to stop any group of anybody from doing anything. So, yeah, don't even. And when you talk about the patriarchy, you're talking about white power. You're talking about white generational power. The guy who leaves it to his son, who then he can date at work and, fire you if you don't sleep with him, all this stuff. That's power. That's left to your son. That's the patriarchy. Who marries those guys? The girl who's in that bar calling me, I don't even want what you call them, a patriarchist, right? Whereas she's getting all these perks while she's accusing someone who, it's like she's sitting up in a den of drugs telling me of cocaine and heroin, all this horrible stuff, telling me that I'm the problem because me and my friends sip whiskey and smoke weed in an off and out of the way place that you can't see. You had to come and find us to have this conversation. When I start my 13 things again, I think I'm going to lose a lot of anxiety and agita because I'm not going to hold back on any of it. But don't worry, it's only 13 minutes. that's the advertisement for the 13 minutes. Now we are going to take a second, have you process that. Am I going to get, oh, we've got ice. I was about to say, do I have to take this and put ice in here? Ah! Whew! Yeah. Is there anything better than ice, cold water? Oh, yeah. I'm going to go get that hot coffee and then come back, have 3 sips of it, and then complain about it being hot in here. Yep. Know yourself, people. I'll be back in, let's see if I can get this done in like, I want to say 3 minutes. Well, let's go 3.5. You know, one thing I've always liked were clocks, time machines. I always wanted to, 3.5 is 30, not 15. Sure, what do you do? I always wanted to get one of these watch kits, you know, and you get like magnifying glasses. I've got like magnifiers on stands up on the, so you like set the stands up, and then you just work with your hand and put this watch together with these tiny little pieces. Occasionally I still look online for like watch kits, see if I can do it. Just really interested in like the small minutia of it. I mean, in the history of humanity, I think just my humble opinion, the 5 greatest inventions, let's see if I can pull them off the top of my head, has to be the printing press by Gutenberg. Let's not name the let's not name the inventors, but it has to be Gutenberg, right? The printing press. It has to be the book. Whoever came up with the idea of like pulp paper, I think the Chinese did. Then the printing press. I'd say the bicycle around the 1800s, because the bicycle essentially let women be free. Go look that up. It's really simple. The bicycle. The timepiece, like to keep time, that's a watch, right? That and agriculture. And like you stop having to travel across the landscape. You could sit in a place, maybe you found a nice place, and water it and grow your family until some demons found you there and wanted what you got. And then the art of stealing everything from everybody became just a European mantra, quite frankly. No one did it like that, and now it's everywhere. And now you are paranoid about your neighbor. And there are paranoid fights about water in the West, which is sad, right? We've got issues with jobs. We've got issues with all this stuff, and it all stems, I think, from trusting each other. And that whole thing of I once asked, somebody should do a thing about, they've done all this about Black people. Somebody should do a thing about why are white people like this, right? Aggressive and ridiculous, like why they like it. And then I saw this totally answer my question on a random documentary I was watching, and this is how I put it together. They were talking about, I gotta go get this coffee. They were talking about in Europe, right? You live far away from people. You may live in the woods. There was always this paranoid thing about highwaymen and robbers coming, right? If your daughter left the house, you couldn't be with her all the time. One day she will eventually have to be old enough to leave. Then you panic and worry about her, worried about if you're going to marry her off, and all this paranoid stuff. Then new people come in and you're paranoid about them. And then, so it's all this, it stems out of, my neighbor is 5 miles away. I have to protect this house and myself. And it stems out of human nature of, I'm 5'5", let's say. And my neighbor who I hate is 6'10", let's say. Right? So it's all this, how am I going to work hard and keep this, not have to be stolen from me? Who are these new interlopers? What do they mean to me? And that whole thing, I think, down the line has just been reinforced and reinforced. And now you get this culture of just aggressive nonsense, right? I mean, slavery was not that long ago. It wasn't like it was 5,000 years ago. It was like 100, and my mother's grandmother was a slave, right? As a young girl. So yeah, I know people who are alive who knew slaves, so don't blow smoke at me. And then it's all this idea of you told all these Europeans that you can be big in America. Come here. We don't care what you do to the people who are already here. That whole idea of America is for immigration is bullshit. No country is for immigration. Nobody has ever found a country for immigration, ever, right? So, I'm watching it get ruined by old ridiculous people who are treating America and its citizenry like a herd of people to be sold off at will, right? We need more doctors. We need less lawyers. We need more teachers. We need more good teachers. We need to wash out this cop system and just get people who want to be policemen, not these gangsters in badges, right? We need to fix the banking because the banks just steal from everybody and never pay taxes. We need to address these social media groups. And it's all about, we have money to bribe the people in power, so America is a hot crap show, right? So there's your patriarchy, back to the original topic, right? This is your patriarchy now. I have no power to stop any of that. So what would she talk about then? And that conversation wasn't a million years ago. She will likely have been the same woman calling the cops on that guy in the park about bird watching and the dog because it served her purpose. And no one ever pays a price for that until that woman was the first one, right? We got a name for it, being a Karen. So yeah, I mean, we always know that if a woman accuses you of rape, you're arrested that night. It's not like, let's gather some evidence, right? So, I mean, your word has power. People do things, and just watch who you talk to, because some of us know the issues on the ground, and some of us are no longer willing to humor you. Just be right. Just bring new and good information to the conversation. Maybe enlighten me, but don't be so closed-minded because all my information is good and useful. Just because you don't want to hear it doesn't mean it's not true. And you should want to hear it because it enlightens you. Even if you don't buy into what I'm saying, it strengthens your what I'm looking for, your rebuttal against it later, doesn't it? You have new information. He said this. I knew he was going to say that. I looked it up. This is what it is, right? So you have all this new information to illuminate what you thought. America is just, I mean, if America had done with the racists, they wouldn't still be around here talking shit, changing their names from Klansmen to Proud Boys to Oath Keepers, so yada, yada, yada. They're all the same asshole. They're all the same racist. And yeah, I think they want to be taken on, and they're going to get taken on. I think they're going to do what the Klan did, sneak around like ISIS and attack people in the dark. But I think that's going to be hard to do in the modern era. And I don't think that people, Black folk in general, are going to tolerate it. I think all parties know that's going to open up like I said, with 60 million people. You better hope that half of them don't want to mess with it. And I'm pretty sure half of them won't. But if the numbers say anything, 3 to 10% of 60 million is still about what is my 3 to 10%. So that's the 10% is 60 million. The 10% is 6 million, right? 3% of 3% of 60 million. Ooh, we should know this. What is our math here? 3% of 60 million should be, I want to say 7%. Is that right? That's not right. Maybe it's with my calculator. All right, 60. It's like 20%. That can't be right. It's got to be a different percentage. Anyway, I'm not even doing with math right here. I want my coffee. So we're gonna go. We're not talking about social justice or politics. That was a nice little 10-minute rant on a story. Man, this is why I stopped having these conversations. I can't have conversations with these people. You should have a wide group of people and talk about a wide variety of things. But once you get people in there who are not intellectually curious, they're just going to fuck up your meeting. They are. They're not there to learn or participate. There was a story this week in the New York Times that the conservatives were sending in people into other people's political parties to fuck with them, to have arguments or try and turn them to conservative ways. And so if you're liberal and you're like, yeah, I want abortions for everybody, they'll sleep in there like fucking spies and like kind of, oh yeah, maybe abortion, maybe we should take a lesser route, maybe we should do, and then before you know it, in 10 years, your liberal group is a conservative group. How fucking sinister is that? You can't even get by on your own fucking, it's always sinister shit with these people. the rape, the murder, the thief, the stealing. Now you're spying on people, and you expect no one to take you on. So I'm telling you, I'm openly telling you, I fully expect violence because fuck you if you're gonna kill anybody in my family and expect to give me a check. Someone in this society needs to realize, yeah, this fucked up train has run long enough. But they make money off it. They make a lot of money off of it. Racism is worth a lot. All the music black people have ever made are in white corporate hands. And before that, they were in the white hands of the lawyers who stole them from the people that they stole them from by these weird things written in contracts in the 1910s and the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Wow. So yeah, yeah. I'm that guy. I'm gonna get coffee. All right. We got coffee. Where we're gonna put it right here. This mat is. Oh, I was looking for this. It's a bookmark. Just, I mean, the art on bookmarks are always, they're quick, they're easy, they're a little bit of hard paper so you can stick in your book. Look at this portrait. I mean, come on. Look at this art. I mean, you can see the talent. Let's put this here. Let's put this here. Let's put this here. Let's put this here. It is Sunday. Oh, came back. Let's stop this. Let's put this in a reasonable of let's go 7. Because we're going to do some talking. And we're going to, that's on, man, maybe I should open up the shades. Oh my God. All right. Oh, Dougie. Oh. All right, so Dougie's in a cage. Dougie's in a cage. Aren't we all in a cage, really? All right, this is the best guitar experience ever. You know why? Because nobody hassles you. I'm sure some of you are sitting there with your guitar in your lap, going through some stuff. Others are sitting there with a guitar in a case. I should put more sugar in that, but not necessary. Some people are really seriously thinking about getting in on this, buying. All those stages are good stages. Remember, there's only 2 rules to being a guitar player. Rule number one, be a guitar player, right? You got to learn some stuff. You got to do some stuff. You got to be a guitar player. And number two is make music. Guitar players who don't make music are not guitar players. Guitar players who don't play the guitar are not guitar players. Those are two beautiful. Oh, I should write down Dougie's timing. But we're going to write those down too. One, be a guitar player. You think that sounds, but that's layered. That is layered. And two is, what is two? Make music. Well, one of these days there will be people in the chat and they're going to help me when I forget. Make music. Wide open categories. All right, so we went out. This was yesterday. Then we went out at 10. And then we went out at like 11:30. Ooh. Okay, this is this morning. We went out at 6. Actually, we went out 5, excuse me. 5, I want to say 55. It's about 6:25. And then we're doing a show. Oh, Dougie Doug. I appreciate you, but God damn it, get out of my house. Coffee. All right, we're not going to think about the stuff that stresses us out, like Douglas. Oof. I should close that door. If I close that door, I can open the window. If I open the window, but it's hot outside. Where is that? Here it is. What's the weather outside?
It's currently clear and 75 degrees.
Okay, that's not going to help me. What's the weather today?
It's currently clear and 75 degrees.
That's not the. What is the forecast for today?
It's currently clear and 75 degrees.
You're not helping me out. You're supposed to give me. What's the weather for the week?
The weather looks good now, but maybe not for long.
Man, the weather app is ridiculous. Sometimes it'll tell you if it's going to rain. All right. All right. Let's do what we came. You know what? Open this thing a little bit. It's the Lord's Day. It is the Lord's Day. Amen. It is the Lord's Day. Sunday, 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 Sunday. I wonder if I can cut this out now that I've got actual sunlight. Yeah, this is nice. I could probably even kill the one in the back, but this is not. Ugh. Is it nice? I feel like it's a nice look on TV, on stream, but I feel like it's too dark in here and I should have some light. Ooh. Coffee. Another one of those, let's put this here. Another one of those things. Do we want to? Dag nabbit. All right, this is the last time I'll leave the room, I promise. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to close this door. I'm going to ignore Dougie Doug. I'm sorry, Dougie. I really am. And we are going to open a window or two. Leave that part of the place air-conned. And we'll just leave this part of the place. Here's the thing. Air conditioning is nice, but it will weaken you. It really will. My air conditioning is on, quite frankly, because Dougie's here. And sometimes it's on when it's super humid, so I look at the news report every day. But yeah, your dog needs an air conditioner because they don't sweat. But generally, you want to sweat. You want your carcasses, those pores to open, and all that gook to come out. It's the laziest exercise you can get, and people won't even do that. Won't sweat. Won't sweat. Okay, right? What is going on here? Why won't this go down? There it is. All right, so I guess we're going to do more metronome work. Oh, bye. Ooh, ice cold water and hot coffee. Something tells me that might just. But this is me. I never drink all the coffee. See, and here's the thing: I can't even put Dougie in the crate in here because he'd lose his mind, right? And I feel bad. Even when he calms down, he sits at your feet, but he doesn't lay down. He won't. You. He doesn't know what lay down is. And he'll sit at your feet and he'll jump and he'll stop, Dougie, get down, Dougie, stop. With scratch you with those puppy claws. Don't jump. I mean, he's not jumping, but he's a foot tall. And you're sitting on the couch, so he's scrapping, get down, Dougie. And then you tell him that 5 times. Stop it, Dougie. Finally, you're frustrated. Then he wanders off. You instantly paranoid. He's going to pee on something. Then you call him back. Then he wants to play with you because you called him back. Then it's like, oh, you're either at my feet or in the cage. That is just a word. So, will Han Solo have treated Chewbacca this way? They're supposed to be a team, for God's sakes. And that's what it is. There are no real teams anymore. It's just people doing whatever the fuck they want to things or to people. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, your life is important, but so is the life of your partner, your companions, these kids, and yeah, that dog. You should take those into account. Ugh. Maybe I shouldn't have had that coffee. It is what it is, isn't it? So I have to turn that on to blow the smoke out of here. So we are guitar people. It is dark in this room. Man, oh man, oh man. All right, that's good enough. Hoo-wee. Let's just stand up and get all the negative. It's not negative, it's Dougie energy. It's errant, wild magic energy from Dougie Doug. See, I had wild magic energy too, so I get the wildness of cool and weird things happening out of the blue that people may not know. My magic is not structured, right? It is wild. My philosophy is come through things people taught me, things I've learned, and things taught to me, things I've learned myself, and things I've read. May not be a good philosophy for you. It's fucking working damn well for me, right? And maybe your philosophy is super good for you and not for me, but maybe there's something in your philosophy, your personal everyday flow that I could use, right? So this is why I'm big on conversation and connection. Why I'm angry when people phone it in, because the whole land has become phoning it in land. There's stuff that shouldn't be going on. First of all this sex at work. People act like there's only one reason things happen, and that's the thing that they told you. And like I've always been on this. Stop sleeping at people at work. What is this bullshit? How you dating at work? And I had modern women friends then tell me I was trying to hold women back, and women can do whatever, and sisters are doing it for them. I'm like, yeah, but you're dating at work, right? Like I'm just like I'm trying to make sure they don't have abortions. They're equating everything sexual with trying to stop them from doing something. Some of the sexual shit is bad. Just because a woman is doing it doesn't mean it's good or she's got the right to. So back to what I was saying before. If I'm dating at work, me, and I date the girl in accounting, and then I date the girl in acquisitions, then I date the coffee girl who comes through. I hope after they all leave, we're still good friends. Because in 10 years, when they go, did you date so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah, it was nice little romantic encounters at work. And there's, We didn't get married, blah, 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 blah. Well, they have a totally different story about it. Who marries the first person? Nobody. Right? So you have to be dating at work. And I use the word dating at work. I don't mean, oh, I met this guy. We did. Like if you met someone at work and you dated and got married, great. Or you dated 2 people or 3 people at work through the course of your work career, great. But people are going in to meet a I don't know, a husband at work. It's just so some of those are going to be problematic because I mean it's sex and people are crazy and people talk. So now people are talking about you at the water cooler, right? Hey, you know, had sex with you yesterday. He's got a really small penis and he cries after sex. And now you're telling everybody that in the office, and I'm like, well, fuck her. I know a way I can get back at her. Bad quarterly reports on you for like 2 or 3 quarters, and then you're fired. And then you sue because, oh, I was fired because of sex. And he's like, no, you were fired because, yeah, maybe you were fired because of sex. Or maybe you told him that and he didn't care. So what? I got the sex anyway. And he does not care. But someone else is like, she's just not good. Maybe she's still here because she sleeps with people at work. Or he's the boss's son, or, one of those things. And then people get rid of you because of this. And you're like, no, I did good work and they don't like me because it's sexual harassment. And they're like, your work is bad. So do you really know? Sometimes I think you knew, but you shouldn't have dated at work in the first place. And sometimes I don't think you know, because there's other people watching what you do in the sphere going, that person has to go, right? It is what it is. So dating at work, problematic? I'd say so. All these problems that fall from that tree, it's not just I'm an innocent victim and he came on to me at work and I had no choice. Give me a break. Shut up. I mean, woman, you have agency. Even if you have to make a scene in the middle of the workplace, that's better. How fucking dare you say that to me? Everybody in all the cubicles are like, what did he say? This is outrageous. Then you just storm out, go to HR immediately. That everyone will say, man, she stormed out and she went straight to, I don't know what he said. Everybody see that there's evidence. So even if you squash it, 2 months down the line, no one is going to be asking you for poozle at work. You put the line down. You might have even changed the culture. But all I'm hearing is, okay, well, I did the thing and now I'm sad and I'm just kind of like, what? Aren't you supposed to be a little stronger than this, modern woman? We let you drive and vote, and this is the person you are? You better fucking get it together. You better be a beast that you're supposed to be, American woman. You're not supposed to be some never-she crying North Korean girl, right? Be about it. But if you're going to be about it, you can expect men like me in the environment to tell you to shut the fuck up and get out of the way, right? That's just the colloquial talk that we're talking. We're not actually hitting or moving you off your position, but that's the conversation. Be able to take it. Shut up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I talk to my men friends like that. They go, I don't know what I'm talking about. They don't go, how dare you say, right? I'll talk to my sisters like that. Well, I don't tell them to shut up. But I'll tell them, what are you talking about? That is ridiculous. And they'll be like, that's ridiculous. You just, they'll go back, give and take versus, oh my God, I can't believe I must go get someone now to show this person that I am connected to the patriarchy that I want to put down so much. So those patriarchy boys can go and teach you a lesson, whether it's hanging from a fucking tree or dumping you in a river with a car engine around your neck, or calling the cops about, I feel unsafe because there's a guy in a park with me. A park. So yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? And that's what it is. Anywho, you know what? That counts as your. Maybe I'll do a Sunday morning show on religion and society, because I would knock that shit out the park. That is your Sunday morning spiritual show, right? You got a little political wisdom, you got a little social wisdom, you got a little let's be better. I may have went in on some aspects of bad women too hard. I apologize for that. But you know what? If you are offended by that remark, what's the line when you would say something? Someone go, I resemble that remark. Right? It's the idea that you pipe up because like if we're like I'll give you an example. If we were talking about rap music, right? And I was a rapper, you didn't know. You're like, oh, it's all violent and it's all stupid. And I just got out the studio making my epic rap album, violent, stupid bullshit on wax. And you're like, oh, it's all violent, it's all stupid, it's on bullshit, it's all on MP3s or digital or wax, but it's all the same trash. And I say, I don't know about that. And I super hard defend it. That you know that I'm defending it because that's me. So if I'm sitting here talking to somebody and I'm like, man, Black Lives Matter, they're doing the right thing. I think the cops are a little out of control. And you go, I don't know about the cops. And then like you explain it, I can pretty much tell where you sit, right? So you can go, well, I'm not for defunding the cops. We need the cops. But yeah, I can see getting rid of a giant APC tank they don't need, that they only drive up and stand outside of places while chaos is going on. Example, these school shootings, right? There's always an APC outside. You don't see people running in like in the movies, fighting it out with the bad guys. Just get dressed, pith helmets, jackets, and they stand outside, right? So you're like, well, maybe we don't need that. That truck could be used for mental illness, right? Versus these guys who just love the military. They're up their skirts about the military, and they don't really like the military. This is in my opinion, this is a holdover of we want to slide up to the authoritarians so that we're like them. We want some of their luster on us so we can go and do evil shit in the hinterlands, right? So the Klan was for the cops, right? Bull Connor was a fucking Klansman. He was the chief of police, right? So spare me your bullshit. I know what you're talking and why you're talking it. And I can hang with you because I know the problems and the rules and the history. So if you're sitting here going, what is it, heritage, not hate, you just need to go sit your sorry ass down. It's all about hate. Because as soon as you start talking off heritage, you're talking about sending people to jail and how you hate people. America has let you be here too long. You change your name and keep doing the same thing. So yeah, it's goofy time in America. All the cowards are quiet. I think it's going to come down to the people, just like the Revolutionary War. By estimates, they think 3 to 8% of the people were for that and for it. And other people are like, nah, I don't give a fuck. And then they just woke up in another country one day. What happened? The king's not the king. Wait, so do we have a king? We don't have a king? What do we have? A president? What is a president? I've never heard of that. George Washington, oh yeah, he was running, yeah. Wasn't he losing all the wars? He's the president? What just happened? And people, Jebediah, you need to read the fucking newspaper. This has been going on for 4 years. Right? This is a lot of people. Wait, what? Yeah, I know we always at war. I don't know who's the vice president. I don't know who the vice president. You might know now because it's a woman. But I've had conversations with people who didn't know who the vice president was. Didn't vote. 27, 30. Never voted. The Democrats don't speak to them. It's the whole situation is coming up to a shit show. And when the shooting starts, you won't have anybody to talk to people, to tell people to calm the fuck down. Right? And you'll know it gets really dark when they start. Like I said, you know what? These cops don't live on military bases. I've got a million angry things in my head to get back at evil people, and I'm a good person, and I'm pretty sure evil people plot the same way. They just may not do it. And what you don't want is them to break that seal and do one thing, which will lead to 2 things, which will lead to 10 things. Don't think you can infiltrate every group, right? If I started one, you'd be hard pressed to infiltrate mine. You really would. Just because I read and all this shit is public information now. Shit, Netflix has a show about how to be a dictator, right? So at this point, it just comes to commit to being cruel. And I think everybody will not tolerate one group committing to being cruel. Let's talk about Israel. Man, are we going to play this guitar today? So there's a story this week about the last Israel-Palestinian issue brought all this anti-Semitism. That's the word they use. Really? Maybe brought all this awareness of what the fuck was going on. But the Jewish lady who wrote the article says it's all racism from us at Israel. Just like that. Bam. See how that works? Using racism for you. Don't be racist against Israel. Oh, now we're back to being dutiful fucking midgets for this place. I should tell you that if you want to know, I'm going to tell you the history of Israel. You want to know the history of Israel in a nutshell? The quick and dirty history of Israel is this. After World War II, Like we put them there, right? They can talk about they were there forever, but quite frankly, their names are all German and they're from Germany. The original giant fucks of them. Then they came up with this plan. Any Jew in the world can come here and be like a Jewish citizen. So now we're just all Jews. What about the Palestinians who were there? Right? You demonize them. They're the villains. Look, calling them the villains for fighting there is like calling American Indians the villains, right? It's like calling the Aboriginal in Australia the villains, right? It's just more the bullshit that they stood up 100 years ago, and Israel is still on it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. When this whole thing happened, the terrorism started with Israel, quite frankly, because they blew up the Israeli Hyatt, which was full of Americans, and I think they did that in '59, right? So you better look up who started what, and why they started it. And now, you got people setting up balloons with flam on it, like with flame kind of things, and homemade rockets, and you're airstriking them from 80,000 feet with American ordnance. Americans don't like that. But for you to then go, oh, well, all of Americans are not anti-Semites. Like, Americans are so fucking wishy-washy. If Putin came here and was like, you know what, the borscht is very good. All Americans were like, ooh, maybe we should do borscht. We should be speaking Russian because we're just so fucking stupid. I think the Europeans have gotten their way with this, with our governments, administration after administration, congressional terms after congressional terms, right? And they really are, and their citizen thinks so too. Their citizen think, well, I'm a failure here. I'll just go to America. Like, this is not your safety school. Like, get out. And then you move into these places and you cause problems for the people who are there. And all these ways, cause problems for the Indians, cause problems for the Palestinians, cause problems for the blacks. In all these ways, so used to causing problems for people and then blaming the people that are put upon. I don't see how all of America is racist against Israel, because this woman, I think it was the New York Times article. It's the fucking headline. It's the idea that, I wish I could remember the exact quote. It was like, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict brings out anti-Semitism in most Americans, or something like that. Oh, really? Just like that brings out the anti-Semitism. What, did the George Floyd killing bring out the racism? Or was it always there? I mean, it's just, why am I even listening to you? And I always want to know who wrote the article. And some of these articles just have pieces with no art person who wrote it. See if I can find one for you right there. And sometimes I read those, but generally I don't, because I'm like, if you can't put your name on this article by NBC6 digital team, what the fuck does that mean? Right? So, South Florida. Yeah. Who is this? Digital team. Can you see it right there? It's right above the date. Maybe I can get my finger in there. You can, right? NBC's 6 digital team. I don't know what that is. What is that? Why should I believe that? Where you get your information from is important. And I've had people get in conversations with me. The Washington Post. Does this have anybody's name on it? Aaron Rodgers, Sarah Kaplan, and Alexandra Baumgarten. 3 people. I respect it. But then you got to look at those 3 people and see what their politics are. What they wrote the last 10 times, to see if they're a Clintonite just throwing rocks at Bernie Sanders, or if they're legitimate. There's a lot of... Excuse me. There is a lot of just fake people who are really just propagandists for some rich guy who owned a newspaper. Woo-wee. Excuse me. Whew. So yes, I'm up here preaching on a Sunday. My church would be a social church. It wouldn't be so much religious based, because you can read the scriptures, right? But can you read the winds of what's going on right now, and who's doing what, and how long they've been doing that, and why nothing gets better, but they always collect a giant check, and the checks get bigger. We need health care. Excuse me. We need to do something about these borders. We need to do something about these corrupt banks. We need to do something about this corrupt Congress. We need to do something about what Congress have always been. What's the phrase? Best Congress money can buy. All right, I've heard that forever. Uh, I don't know. We need somebody to fix it. Who's going to fix it? Who the hell knows? But I do think that there's enough of us who know that something's wrong that it's going to have to get fixed. Right? It's not the three-card Monte trick where, when the trick was new, you could like fleece everybody forever. And then eventually, whether it's 6 months, 6 days, 6 months, 6 weeks, somebody will eventually get hooked, not hooked, but get wise to excuse me. Let me tell you the art of blowing your nose, just so you know. You got to blow stuff out. We all know that. But you also have to get stuff that's lower down in and spit that out so you can have a clear cranial cavity. And also milk. Milk brings mucus to the lungs. So yeah, milk is a problem. I have to give up the milking. The milk age. Mm. Whew. Had to do just that. I had to clear my whole Wasnoggle. All right, so here we is. We have talked politics. What? How many? Oh my God, we're an hour in. Um, talk politics and social stuff. Stand up for your girls, but everybody's doing that to mess with your head. Don't forget to stand up for your sons. All this, especially I'm talking to you black people now. All this black girl magic. What's the equivalent for the boys? Yeah, and now they're not even using it anymore. They got what they wanted from you, an election. Don't let them kill off the men in your family and tell you how important you are, because you will end up exposed. Every group needs their men. Remember that. I mean, the society killed off marriage, not just in the black community, but in every community, right? We are the people to do the deed. I missed that one. All right, so whew, ran out of juice. Mm. Here's the thing: I should do a thing about smoking. Unlike tobacco smoking, of which I used to do, tobacco has a filter on the back, a cotton filter, so no tobacco ever kind of hits your throat. These considerably wider. You can get a little fleck as big as. Can you see that? What can I show? Stop it. That's dust. All right. Yeah, there you go. You can get a piece as big as that to come through. Can you see that? And land on the back of your tongue, and it'll sit there. Let me put this back. Right? Super. Oh, here we go. There you go. Clock. Where's the clock? Put your finger out of the way, man. And it'll just sit there on the back of your truth, man. and you're like, trying to get it off. Because look, just because it looks that small, when it's sitting back there, it feels like it's about as big as I'm about to say a Datsun. You kids don't know what a Datsun are. Do they even still sell Datsuns? It feels like it's as big as a Gremlin. No, a VW Bug. There you go. And what I do is generally I get it off by like eating something. It'll catch and go down, or clear my throat, try and bring up stuff and clear it. But it it is what it is, and it goes with the job, right? Uh, and we all have our vices. If you drink, you better drink a lot of water because your liver is not gonna appreciate you in a few years. And if you skydive, you better make sure your parachute's good. Or there's a lot of people who don't do anything. They want to watch what you do and then criticize you for it, right? If you pull it off and you're great, oh well, But if you're trying to let's say you're trying to get to the NBA and you're always, I'm going to practice, we're going to practice. And let's say you get there, but before nobody knows again. People are, oh, man, he's just playing. But why is he, no, it's impossible. And then all of a sudden you do it. And all of a sudden, we always knew you could. Oh my God, he was always a special boy. The bullshit of people once you're a winner, right? But when you're trying to get there, the disregard and mustache hair, the disregard that you get, and the what's the word I'm looking for? The dismissal of whatever dream you had. Like I tell you, like in a million years ago, I used to write comic books as a kid in school. I wanted to work in comic books, and then heard that was impossible. And I was like, oh, I'll write screenplay movies, and I did that for a while, and that was impossible. Tried to break in by being a PA for HBO and worked on Dave Chappelle's show for a little bit. um, Def Comedy Jam. My friend Maura got me the gig. Thank you, Maura. I always appreciate you. I gotta call her. People who do right by you, try and do right by them, right? Try and pay it back. It's not easy. Uh, and if you can't pay it back to them directly, you pay it back in their name to somebody. You feel me? But I'm just surrounded by a bunch of people who just won't do it, won't do the work. They know what's at stake, but they won't do the work. So, like I said, I think marching is over. And if marching is over, what am I doing? If I don't like our leadership, black leadership as well as national leadership in the country, what am I going to do? Keep drinking? No, I'm going to do something else. Speaking of doing something else, why is this always going out? Which is fine, I guess. Speaking of doing something else, excuse me, we are gonna do this gonna do this guitar thing, and we're proud of ourselves because we started this pod without the mic being muted, which was not the case the last three pods. So progress. All right. Do re mi d w d w w. Sometimes you just put a scream, and I get it, but you're not allowed to scream because people would think that you're crazy. So what you need to do is take up singing, so you could hack the screaming situation, right? Get air in your lungs. Get Is that? I could have sworn it was just 8 o'clock. 8:10. I could have sworn that was an hour ago. Okay, we're coming up on an hour. Um, it's a beautiful day. Maybe we will do some of this. Maybe no, I'm not going to the beach. I'm so tempted to take this show on the road and go down to the beach, but I'm a little hesitant about trying to, because I think people will think it's a lesson, and it's not really a lesson what we're doing here. We're building community uh, of new musicians, and in 10 years, like I'm always talking about the future, because you have to look to the future when you're this new, because we have no past. Uh, our past isn't even a month old. We have to. I would love to just go down there and sort of practice our practices at the beach in the sun. But I really do think you'll get a lot of, and plus, it's a lot to look after, right? By yourself. And in a quieter space, maybe. A quiet parking lot at Walmart. Yes, Walmart probably call the cops. End up on TV being shot for playing the guitar in a Walmart. You got a call about trespassing? Thought his guitar was an AK-47. The suspect has a known drug history, right? Oh my God, drugs. Oh, heroin, crack. No, weed. The suspect has a criminal history too. Oh my God, he was a criminal? What? Well, he was a cop. I guess that is a criminal history. You're like, let me see this whole fucking report. What are you guys doing over there? And then everything you find out is upside down and ass backwards. All right. Excuse me. All right. I am getting a lot of on the back of the throat. Okay, so we're working on strengthening fingers today. Here's the truth. After I got off with you yesterday, after yesterday's PM session, I walked Dougie. tried to watch some TV. Yep, something's on the back of my throat, and it's really annoying me. I don't have any quick eats around me, do I? I do have coffee. Yes. Also, your vocal cords are like tendon and a muscle. You can't keep agitating them with coughing and screeching. Ah! You get pops and stuff. So, does it better. Feel like it. I feel like it's revving up to something versus breaking. You get the whole thing rumbling. You can dislodge stuff. Clearing your throat is what they call that, clearing. Versus the good old fashioned hacking and looting. All right, so I still have this thing in my throat that's making my eyes water, but that's all right because I just blew my nose. We're here to do what we came here to do, and we want to get this A thing down, right? We were doing two. We were doing this one. Is that right? Oh, my fingers. All right. Yeah, that's about what I've been doing. So that's always been it. We've been trying to swap to the 2-finger technique. That worked. Yeah, so we're definitely going to try and erase this from our brain to but I was thinking yesterday, do we need this? Does this figure in down the line? And should I even care? Or should I cultivate 2-finger positions per fret? I mean, that's a lot for us new guitarists, right? Let me sort of see if I can stick that out of the way. Put this here. Turn it up a notch. Maybe that's better. Can you hear me? All right. So again, excuse me. We were. I was in a state yesterday, guys, but we were dreaming yesterday, right? We were talking about the possibility of writing a song early because we knew these 5 chords. Um, and I say it tongue in cheek. Ooh, that's all supposed to be the same thing. No, this is a D key. D chord. Um, I'm I'm actually not muting the bottom E string, right? The high E string, as he says that, he mutes it. The high E string. And in this whole thing, I was also muting the D string. That's right. Here's what I want. Yeah, that's what I want, right? That's the B string. So a little harder on the B string. But the D string is clear now. When I was doing it this way, I was muting the. All right, not right. E, which is muted. A, D, D, G, B, and A. So we know what our shortcomings are, and we're working on them slow and steady. See, this is why these practices are awesome. We just spent like 40 minutes talking loose and being ridiculous. We didn't feel like if we had a guitar teacher, we'd be like, all right, you got 45 minutes. Let's start right now. You couldn't just kick it with him for 40 minutes. He'd be like, you only got 5 minutes left. I got someplace else to be, right? Get your guitar out. Come hang out with us. Because one day we're going to have a convention. Maybe I'll start, I'm about to say OnlyFans. Maybe I'll start, excuse me. Maybe I'll start a group me in my local and do that. Because I really do think, wow, it's so good so fast versus this, which really, I shouldn't give up on this though. I should know how to do this. You know what? I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to know how to do this, but I feel like I'm having an affair with a note that I should either commit to. All right, so my throat is beginning to feel better. La 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 la. Breathe. That might have gotten it. You want to breathe deep. You want to sit up straight. Sit on our actual ass, right? Sit up straight. We don't want to slouch, right? We don't want to. When we do it, we can actually almost like you're going to stand up, put some tension in your thighs, like you're going to stand up. Put your hands. I like to put mine deep in my hand, but yeah, put them here, and imagine that line right here, right? You want it through your lungs, right? Through over your tongue, over your palate, over your uvula back there, not back here, but back here, and just get it to rush past your throat into your lungs. But you want to sort of like crimp your throat a little bit, just to tighten the wind like a hose spigot. And you want to breathe deep, because right, so this knocks all the loose bits of your nose phlegm out. It kicks out some of the loose bits of your throat phlegm out. Plus, it gets you breathing. Like when you start running, that's a natural process of that. You'll have a lot less nasal phlegm in this whole area and throat phlegm in this whole area. And some of the loose stuff in your lungs, since we are recreational smokers, right? Whatever you do, I guess part of me, look, whatever I used to do, I used to mitigate, right? So I drink a lot of water. I smoked, but I was also a runner. I had a dog. I was a skateboarder. So for my smoking, I did like 5 things to counteract that, where I had to breathe, I had to be outside, it had to be social, versus sitting in a room smoking cigarettes or cigars or joints all day and playing Xbox and putting on pounds, right? I put on pounds now because I gotta tell you, it's been a crazy 5 years, 6 years. And I've slowly gotten off I slowly wandered from my own true north. So now I'm back to sort of seeking out my own North Star. Yours might be different. And I think I've always had it in my horizon, even though I wasn't facing it. I was close to. It's right over there. We can wind it over here. Maybe I shouldn't have winded. Maybe I should just walk straight at it. But it is what it is. What it is, isn't it? And that's what it is. So I reposition my path, walking true north, uh, trying to be a little more honest with myself about some of the things I need to stop, like, or slow down incredibly, or do other things so much more fun that I don't even notice that it's missing in my life. See what I'm saying? Um, like this guitar thing has completely overtaken my TV watching habits. I don't miss it, right? I could literally, I'm gonna give it like 6 months, but I could get rid of my some of these Netflix accounts if I'm just gonna be doing this because I love doing this. Um, versus going, oh, I gotta start watching TV with my favorite shows on them, right? That it's it's different. So smoked a little, we stand up straight, la 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 la. Warm things, loosen your vocal cords, la 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 la, helps you get like stuff out of your chest. Uh, cold things don't. And quite frankly, you should only be drinking cold stuff when you're super desperate, right? You're supposed to be drinking warm, not warm or room temperature water. It's supposed to be better for you. But who knows? Everything that, like, I remember once they told me eggs were bad for us, right? Eggs. Now they're like, no, 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 that cholesterol's good. I'm like, I thought y'all were fucking scientists. Eggs have been in the human system diet for like 10,000 years. Now it's bad for us. Now it's not bad for us anymore. So let's do these. Let's do chords before we do finger exercise. Because how long has Dougie been in that cave? Dang it, dang it, dang it. I've been here for an hour talking smoke for about 45 minutes. Okay, Dougie. I'm going to put you out of my head. 100 beats per minute. Working on our placement and our timing, and we would like stuff to be neat. A, all three fingers. A, all two fingers. A, two fingers. I don't know what to do about that one. What? All right. Let's take a lap. All right. Something's going on here. I seem to be I don't want to say evolving finger wise. I just feel like I'm doing worse than I was doing a couple of days ago. And the only thing that's different than a couple of days ago is the Dougie anomaly. Now, here's the thing about that. There's always going to be something, right? There's always going to be something. This should not be bothering me. I can't say that I'm tired. I want to put it on. I hear him in the other room. I want to put it on being new, being super enthusiastic, but not very well prepared as we go in, which is what we said with bad with metronome, finger dexterity, all things. Those the big three we need to work on, and we've got a date that we should have those really really well figured out. God, on, Dougie. I know he's taken care of because I just walked him. He might be hungry because he ignored his food to run around in a circle. Uh, he might be thirsty because he ignored water, but that's not going to kill him for the next 90 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. You said 90 minutes. I'm not doing 90 minutes. He's not going to be in there for 90 minutes. An hour is just as bad as 90 minutes. 40 minutes is a half an hour is not. God dang it, Dougie. All right. Got me talking to myself. All right. This is what we are. I'm going to work the chords off screen right now. I'm just going to try and strengthen my hand muscles like we were doing yesterday because I got to tell you, I've got a brain like blockage going on here in the sense that I don't really know. You know what? If this was a band and we had a show tonight and this was still going on, you wouldn't care. You just want me to play, right? And hit the notes and sing the songs or back you up with you sing the songs and I did the chords or uh whatever. But the idea is that I can't be like, you know, oh, I'm sorry people, I just need a moment. Let me tell you about the dog at the house and the whole, no one cares. No one cares. What are we here for? We're here for the music. Things suffer, right? So I guess Dougie's gonna suffer for the music. Maybe I'll write a song about how bad I feel about it, because man, do I feel bad about it. I do feel bad about it. I feel bad about it. I feel bad about it. What do I name it? Dougie Doug? Dougie Doug. I'm sorry that I put you in a cage. The man made me do it. The man made me do it. I guess that's how it starts, right? It starts that simple. Then you jot that down, and then you take it to your best right home, and you go, "Hey, John, I wrote this song. Why don't you hit me with the chords?" That's my Beatles. And then he goes, "Sure, mate." Uh, that's my John Lennon. All right, so I've got blisters on my fingers. Is that? I mean, the first time I ever heard that was when Jim Carrey said it in here. Jim Carrey said it in Yes Man. Jim Carrey has three really great movies that people should give him credit for. That I think shows the like the dumbest thing in him, right? And every now and then you get him. So Bruce Almighty is one of them. Close this. I said close it. Bruce Almighty is one of them. There goes the bandwidth. Uh, and another one is Yes Man. They're just these really kind of zen feeling movies. It's good stuff. It is good stuff. So what was I looking for? I got blisters on me fingers. I'm wondering because I was watching a documentary and someone said Ringo actually said that on a song, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. Got blisters. All right, I got blisters on my fingers. I got blisters. This is a song. When I go, don't want to let me. I'm coming down, but I miss your mother. But tell me, answer where my love you ain't no dance. So Helter Skelter. Okay, y'all know Helter Skelter. He said I got blisters on my fingers in Helter Skelter. Look at Helter. She's coming the fastest. Well, it's not in the song, is it? It's not in the song. Who yelled? I got. He yelled it. Answer 20 vote. Who? Ringo Starr said it after taking the song Helter Skelter. After the take of the song Helter Skelter that would appear on the album. It was on the album. The Beatles released in 1968. Ooh, 53 years ago. Better known as the White Album, which I had three times. I actually had an album. I had a digital copy, which is in that PC someplace. When I got my Mac, they didn't switch my songs over. Uh, he screamed that out. I've got blisters on me fingers. Get out of here. I guess I have to listen to Helter Skelter again. So yes, Yes Man is a brilliant little movie. Uh, so is Bruce Almighty. They really are. They really are good fare. um, I've got blisters on my fingers. All right, fine. I'm gonna have to listen to that later today. So remember. All right, so remember, we are going to be doing Pentatonic next week, and we will be talking about how we miss Dougie, and we will forget all these unfortunate occurrences between us, for we are family, and family is love. And even though you would love to smack some of them around, you can't because they're family, and family is tolerance. So you got to tolerate people because you love them. See the circle? All right. Amazing. Amazing. So what are we doing? We're doing pinkies. Pinkies. All right. Mm-mm. All right. I need to somehow figure out how to pick. Oh, we knew picking was bad as well. Why are you both in the same fret? Right? Da, 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 come over. Right. So it's be here. Back of the fret. Side of your finger. I wonder how big this coverage is supposed to be. I guess this whole area, as well as the pad. I mean, by the time we are done, we seek to have the strongest pinky guitar finger in the known universe. Over back fret. See that? It just popped like that. It takes a second. And I'm noticing. Should I? Should I? See, I shouldn't be so down. I should be. I should be like this. But I don't have. I don't even have the strength between the first digit. The whole thing is a digit. The first. No, the whole thing is a finger. This is a digit. So between the first digit and the second digit, I don't have enough strength to make it like this. So then it could then slam down upon the. Can you see this? Slam down upon the string if this was a string. So I'm doing this lazily touching, right? But it's got to be like, see how this is, because this is a stronger finger. So you could hammer down on it, but this I'm more like swinging it out there and laying it. Um, yeah, like, oh yeah, okay. So like, I'm trying to get a better explanation. So like, it's like if my arm was my finger, like, so I can do this, right? Uh, actually, you can do that depending how far you go. But the idea that I can do this, but I can't, that little bit of pinky thing that I need to push down on the key, right? I don't have. So what I'm doing is just this, right? So I'm doing this, and then I'm exerting all my energy. Ingrown hair in my arm, unacceptable. Got to probably poke out about the bracelet. Uh, so yeah. We know what the problems is. The problems is you've got weak fingers, and while well they won't be stronger by August. I mean, don't get me wrong, but somewhere around I want to say May of next year, right? A year of this, my hands will be stronger and feel better, and maybe we'll notice real differences then. I'm hoping May. I should write down some of these proclamations, not proclamations. There are. Oh, stop it. I want to write down some of these. I guess we're going. Should we call them markers? Like what we think where we think we'll be uh, down the road. But man, oh yeah, like so like that looks good when you do it by itself, but I need to be able to put that on a string and I can't. It just flop. Uh mm, wait. What am I picking up the lighter for? Wait in the water. We know what's wrong. So yeah, this I need to do less of this and more of this, right? And then when I do more of that, the pinky finger has to be fully on like this somehow. Because when I move it up, it's still, see? So this is not bad down here. It's laying across it, but like this is one is on the top. So when I can do it, it lets the other three strings below it ring. But when I do the same thing with my pinky, it doesn't get enough clearance, right? So it's not like I can even help it jam it down there. And I'm always touching something. I need to somehow and get clear my wrist and get the pinky finger directly on top of whatever I'm doing. And that fat finger can be the third digit of the pinky, this fat meat here on the pinky, or way up here when I'm trying to get then my pointer finger, the large finger, my finger. I don't know what's going on with me today. Uh, two finger A. Two finger A one more time. I did the same thing. I felt it slip off. Ew. Do you want to do this? I can't see how I can do that all the time. Well, no. Okay. Yeah. No. I know. No. Yeah, you can absolutely do that all the time. A million guitar players, they do it all the time. See, we're also what we don't do here. We don't allow ourselves. Where is that at? We don't allow ourselves to talk bullshit about our ability. Our ability. Remember, is it was a seed when we started June 1st. Well, I started June 1st. It's only the 10th show, so we can do the math backwards. Ninth show rather. So that's 9 days ago. But it was a germ that we put into. It was a magic seed of music that we put into the soul, the ground, the soul, the soil of our soul, right? And we're watering it with hard work, and that's what's fucking going on here. So yeah, let's get at this thing. It is Sunday. This is this too passes as your religious session, no matter what religion you are. Meaning you don't have to go to church or synagogue or mosque or whatever else you go to, because you picked up your instrument and you practice under God's blue sky. or if you don't believe in God, the cosmos is blue sky, and you are putting good energy back into it with music. And it's right now it's elementary music, right? Elementary fabric of the cosmos, right? But eventually you will be able to wield this music like a wizard and come up with all kind of stuff yourself, and then you will be virtually unstoppable. You feel me? So let no one tell you that you can't. Least of all you. The first person who has to be for you is you. So all this I cannot do it, or I won't do it, or that's all bullshit. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. We are gonna do this thing. And by the time we are done, we will have a favorite guitar and a favorite song and favorite picks and our own energy and our own view of the world through a guitar, right? And that's what we're gonna get. This is where we're going, baby. Dougie Doug, 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 Dougie Doug, 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 Doug. All right, Dougie leaves today. Dougie leaves today, and I'm sad about it. Ooh, Dougie, Dougie, Dougie. I'm sad about it. Ooh, Dougie leaves today. Goodbye, Dougie. I'm sad about it. I'm still thinking about getting a dog though, because like I said, my dog will be totally different, and I train her on stream, and after about 6 months, you'll see the first 2 months are a fucking tear and a pain in the ass. Then after that, it's just keeping up on the stuff that she learned. You got first of all, you don't want to get a dog any younger than 6 weeks old. You don't want to take it from a mother, but a lot of people get dogs at like the 1 month range and all this stuff. But after that, you instill stuff, and dogs learn like children learn, right? You can't teach calculus to your 5-year-old, but you can teach 1+1 is 2, right? You can't teach a lot of stuff to like puppies. You can teach them the basics, the stay and the wait for food, right? Then you let them be puppies. Then in the next month or so, you teach them 1 or 2 other things. And then you let that ride until they're about 6 months old, when they're really psyched to be trained. And then you let them have it. You teach them all this stuff because they are part of your family. And then by the time your dog is a year and a half old, 2 years old, they should be damn near fucking perfect. And you should be able to, like I said, when I used to draw on my artboard, Sydney used to sit at my feet. And when I used to game all night, Sydney would sit on my gaming table. And then she'd pop up when something weird was going on. I'm like, what up, Lassie? Timmy stuck in the well? And she'd know that somebody was in the hallway, and she'd bark. And I trained her not to bark in the hallway. And then she would still go up into the hallway and be like, who is that in the hallway? I'm not allowed to bark at you guys. But she learned not to bark in the hallway. Put the work in, people. Dogs are fucking awesome. Dogs do not live as long as they should. I've met all these people who didn't like dogs. I introduced them to my dog, and then they got dogs like within a year. And I told them what books to read. Get the Monks of Newski Teach Dog Training. It's a genius of a book, and the unofficial endorsement of a book. And all the proceeds go to the monastery. They're upstate New York monastery, and they make their money by training dogs. Then they're they're monastery, so they don't hit the animals, right? It's beautiful. It's just a beautiful book. I used to give it to people when they got dogs. But what good is giving a book to somebody who's not going to read it? What good is giving a rocket ship to someone who won't fly it? I'm playing Xbox. You have a rocket ship outside. Yeah, I can use it whenever I want. It's like every now and then you see somebody. Every now and then you see somebody uncovering somebody's. I think I saw a couple of days ago somebody's 68 Chevelle, mint condition, fat ass rims on it. It was beautiful. In a garage for 40 years. You know what my favorite car is? There's a movie called what is that John Cusack movie called? Better Off Dead, right? So there's a John Cusack movie called Better Off Dead, and it has this car in it. It's a Chevy SS. It's just kind of black. It's got fat back. It just, when you turn it on, it roars. It's this matte black with tinted black windows. And the next door neighbor girl, who was supposed to be an exchange student, he had this beat up car he bought for a couple $100s, and she started work because he wanted to do it himself, but he didn't know anything about cars. And this odd, foreign exchange. It's a good movie, but that little underlying thing about that car, I've always been like, oh my god, if I ever had 2 extra nickels to rub together. I mean, I love my Jeep, but don't get me wrong, a muscle car. It's all throaty and got to take the 8-track out. Got to put in a car charger, and those cars had bucket seats, beginner bucket seats. I remember when a kid, someone would take a corner and you would just slide across the. This was before. I remember 2 major campaigns as a kid. One was the no littering campaign, give a hoot, don't pollute. And one was the seatbelt campaign. I used to be out and put your seatbelt on. Rarely rode in a car, but seeing so many seatbelt commercials. One that stands out was there was this PSA about this guy in a box truck, and he's sitting. The side door was open, because in the old days, you would just kind of stand in that well, and the door be open. You hold on to something, super unsafe. Just like in the old days, you could ride in the back of a moving van, or you could pile up your pickup truck. You can't do any of that stuff anymore. But in the old days, I forgot which story I was saying. I just tell you several things about. I was telling you about the seatbelt. So there was a guy in a box truck, and he was standing in the well, and the driver had a box truck is like those UPS trucks with the big ones. And there was an accident. Somebody takes a cut, and he T-bone, and the guy goes like through the windshield. Action movie kind of setup commercial PSA. And I remember that forever. And I was like, to this day, I always wear a seatbelt. My nephew gets in my car. I lived here 5 years. I have to tell him every day he rides with me to put his seatbelt on. Right? Don't tell me you can't change children's fucking lives with this stuff. Right? Children, I hate to say it, have empty heads. I love them, but they have empty heads, and you pour shit in. So a lot of the stuff that they learn from you. Like I said, I love music, country music, because my dad liked country music. I like blues and jazz because my mom liked blues and jazz. I like doo-wop because my dad primarily liked doo-wop. I like some gospel music because my mother loved gospel music. I like discos because my older sister liked disco when I was like 7 or 8, right? I love classical because my friend Brian got me into classical music, right? We go over there, we order pizza. He got me to Bob Marley too. He got me to classical music and reggae music. So yeah, you learn some stuff, and as I got older, I edited the stuff that I liked, right? My dad, who liked jazz? I think my father liked jazz. I used to listen to. I never really liked it, and it depends on the jazz, right? So like, I didn't know that there was a lot of jazz until I was much older. But like that whole improvisational Miles Davis stuff, I just did not like. Like that, and it goes on for like 40 minutes, or not 40 minutes, but let's say 20 minutes of a song, because the drummer gets the, but I do, did I do, and then he passes it to the horn guy, then the horn guy passes it to the guitarist, and he's, with these super high notes way down here, you're like, no lyrics or anything in this thing. And then it goes back to like the piano guy, and then you're thinking, huh. But that jumpy stuff, like, I understand 30 Rock, that bouncy, funky jazz, I love that. If I could, I don't know if that's just him and his style, but if that's a style of jazz and other people are making music, like, it's just, especially the closeout, right? It's just kind of like, it's moving and it's beautiful. If I had known that years ago, I'd be a huge jazz fan. But that's how you learn stuff, right? You're exposed to stuff that you like by people that you love, and then as you get older, you reinforce some things and you edit out some things. So I'm gonna edit it out of the I think the TV, watching other people's content, and I'm completely edited in on making my own content, and I'm super edited in on learning the guitar. So there you have it. Um, Shave and a haircut. That's not even right. It's 2 bits, right? Is it? Who knows? Um, and it's that, right? So I just did that. Da, 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 don't even know what that is. By the time we're done in a year, we'll know what that is. And if somebody plays something else that's super simple like that, you're like, wait, is that a note, 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 note? Or is that the note, 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 note? And we're like, hey, we're closer than we ever been, right? Way closer than we were a year ago, or 6 months ago, or 6 weeks ago. Um, yeah, yeah. I want to thank everybody watching, everyone in the chat. We a guitar guild of new learners. But the most important thing is that we're doers and we're doing this damn thing. And we're doing it at our own pace and we're doing all sorts of good stuff. And who's going to be able to tell us that we did not affect the world positively? Now, mind you, if you're doing this as a young person, you're likely going to get married down the line and have some kids, maybe, hopefully. They didn't kill that off in your wants and needs. And you can teach them music. And then you have a musical family. You're like the Gracies, but without punching people in the face, right? You smack them in the ear with your, hold on, wait, if I did this, I still have to go here and do this. Yeah, all right. Ba ba da ba ba ba. So what we're definitely going to do today is write down the notes for that thing. We're going to clean this table, maybe clean this room. Cha-cha, set up another camera so I can just kind of, actually I need to, I told myself I wouldn't buy any more stuff. I sort of want to buy a piano. I was going to buy it on Amazon Prime, and I missed it, so I'm glad that I did because I would have bought it. So, but I do sort of need something to hang a camera up over so it focuses down. That way I could do guitar chords and I could also start drawing this week. But I got to tell you, man, uh, I feel very enthusiastic, and I also feel like I don't know what to do with all this enthusiastic energy, right? Uh, and that's what happens. You run out of steam because you don't know what to do next, which is not our problem because there's always guitar classes to be taught online, and you can interpret and then come back and share with us, right? That's what we're doing. We're a small collective. Um, but to keep your energy up, is like I said earlier, it's really good to have a buddy. Uh, we're practicing every day, and no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Look at how pudgy my hands are. See that these are the hands of a man who's not a fantastic fingering guitar expert because those guys' fingers are just veiny and like skin and muscle. You know, they just kind of like na 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 na. You're like, wow, and you realize that they've got 30 years of daily guitar practice, and their hands are just making wizard magic, and you cannot hope to catch them at their glamour and their glitter without some miracle from the guitar being above us. Mm. No, we want a beverage. Where's the water? Here it is. So it is 1:45, huh? We didn't really do a lot. Just like yesterday, we didn't really do a lot. Mm. It's going on 9. I'm gonna walk Dougie in about just because I don't like him being cooped up in his cage. I'm going to walk him in about a half an hour. So let's try and get some actual stuff done in this half an hour. All right. No more talking philosophy, politics. We're going to try and focus on getting it right, doing it down the fretboard once and getting it right, and no excuses. And we're going to do it slow. Where's that metronome? We're going to do it slow. All right. We're just going to do 60 beats a minute. Here we go. 60 beats a minute. Am I between it? I was between it. I'm always between it. I'm beginning to wonder how much energy should I be putting on these strings. Like, should I be bending them, moving them, pushing them out of the way, or should I just be going straight down on them? And I know bending and pushing strings is a technique and all that, but I'm wondering when I'm first hitting them, should I like, because this string's just as good bent, right? And if I can reach up here, why should I not be allowed to bend, especially if it's not a chord? But I keep thinking, well, good Lord, maybe move it when there's a chord. How about that? All right. So I got to shake the whole guitar, but some of these guys are just shaking it with their finger. All right, anyway. Ah. I can't even get this finger to find the strings. I'm sorry, Dougie. Also, should not be concentrating so hard on it because what I'm doing is concentrating really hard on the beat of the metronome, and everything says you're just supposed to fall into it, right? We all know what falling into it. Just kind of like you shouldn't stress it, but you should hear it and you should stay on it. But you should be like, and you should just kind of like, okay, all right, just kind of you're gonna miss some. That's fine. You'll miss less. Like remember what we said. We got a big old box full of mistakes, and we're running through it. So if there's 10,000 mistakes in there, oh, that's a mistake. Now there's 9,999. Right now in our box of however many mistakes there are, 10,000. I think we went through 500, but the box will eventually be empty. For all we know, maybe we will hit some magic thing and pull out one of the mistakes, and it says, "Take 75 mistakes with thee," right? And all of a sudden, that'll be the epiphany card or whatever. And we went, "Ooh, I get it. It makes sense to me." And then those 10,000, and you took out 500 or whatever, now becomes half. Now you don't have 10,000, you took out 500. Now you took out 500, but you had this eureka moment, and now there's only 3,000 left in there, right? So, but eventually you're still going to be done. And even if you don't get get a eureka card, make a mistake a day. 365 days a year. 10 years would be 3,000 days. All right. Well, 3,690. 300. No, wait. 3,600 and 50 some odd days a year. So that means you would need. That can't be right. Let's play with numbers right now. There is. Calm down, my brother. I'm not running. Yeah, it says go running. I will run today, but I'm not running now. 365 days times 10 years is 3,650 days, right? Let's times that by 3, which would be 10,000 days. So 10,000 days is like it's 30 years, quite frankly. And we're doing an hour a day? No, we're crushing hours. So let's do our own weird, funky math on this. What do you want to call these practices? We're doing minimum like 2 hours a day, twice a day. So let's say 4 hours of practice times 365 days a year, since we're not missing anything, is 14,000 hours, 1,400 hours. That's not bad. Okay, so let's do it the traditional way. Let's zone this out. Let's do an hour of practice times 365 should be 365 hours. Hold on, wait a minute. 365 hours. Now let's 365 hours. Let's divide that by days. That's 15 days of practice 15 steady days of practice over the course of a year. And we've got to be way better than that. So we said 4 times 365 is 1460. Let's divide that by 24 hours. 60 days. That's 2 months. So one is 15 hours in a year. Like you just stayed up all day and you played. You could do that. You wouldn't fall asleep. You could do that. But we're doing 60 hours, right? You'd have to be up for 5 days, right? 24, 48, 36, 72. All right, so you would have to be up for 3.5 days. Divided by 24 hours. Who is that freaking calendar, man? Sometimes my brain works on 2 tracks. One is semi-logical and the other one is semi-science fiction. And I have to figure out, what am I plotting here that makes sense? So, 2021. 48 is 3 days. 3 days is 72 hours. 96. All right, so we're talking about 2.5 days of straight playing, which again is not bad. It's not bad. It's 9 o'clock, Dougie. All right, so Dougie, I'm not even gonna pay any attention to you. Let's try and do this pinky thing on metronome. Man, on my hands, weak sauce. We want precision and dexterity. Remember that when we do this, because it will eventually come to us. And once precision and dexterity is ours forever. So, yeah. we're running through a lot of this stuff as if we already have precision and dexterity, but we're doing so much work with an eye toward precision and dexterity that it will eventually roll into one giant fat ball of ugh, one fat ball of talent. Back of the fret, back of the fret, back of the fret. I'm finding that my all right, so let's try these two. Back of the fret, right strings. Precision. We want precision. All right. Back of the fret. What in the world is going on over here? This is really slow. I'm supposed to be on the metronome. Don't care how slow it is. Didn't even set the timer. Just lazy and even and laid back. Good Lord, am I going to have to slow this tempo down a lot to make sure I stay on rhythm? It's outrageous. Really? I'm blaming my strumming hand for this. Let's try chords on this level. I'm having a lot of trouble with the C chord. I'm not angry about it because I know, like I said, we've got a certain amount of mistakes in that box, but damn, do not want to spend them all on the damn C chord. Looking at you, C chord. Everybody's gonna do it. Ugh. Two finger, come on. You know, you are my new best friend. That A chord is really messing with my whole flam jizzle. C is messing with me. A is messing with me. G, use my only homie. Did you just muffle that? I did. You know, I paid you a compliment and then you betrayed me on stream. Just horrible, G. All right. I think we're gonna crash this out because, man, I got Dougie in my mind. It's been 2 hours. It's 11 minutes after the hour. If you're playing this on the hour, I was a little late. I keep hitting the wrong. This is open. But man, am I just? This is A. Stop making the A a D. My stroking is horrible. Hear it? You can hear that tinny tony. Some aren't being hit. Some are being hit really poorly. Like that. You heard that? How do they do this so regularly? It might help if I cut my nails. All right, Dougie, I'm coming. Good Lord, man. I can't wait to get rid of you. You are not an awesome house guest, Dougie Doug. That's wrong. What is with this A to E that is messing with me? I'm just about to jump out a window. It's just oh. All right. Why is C giving me so many problems? Ugh. Ugh. What is going on here with the C? All right. One, I'm never at the back of the fret. I'm always at the top for some reason. My pinky blocks my A, and when I push it up, it blocks my D. So yeah, I mean, and that's that finger. That if I can pull that off, then my my blocks my D for the middle. So yeah, we've got a whole bunch of nonsense to work on. Hand strength. This is I guess it's going to be an interesting week because you can't do it in a week. I know that. Just laying across, not actually giving any power or purchase to it, as well as leaning on my A key. So this finger is just really. It touches every string as it goes up. Every single one. Good Lord. All right. I'm yeah. Blah, blah. Thank you, Metronome. You've embarrassed me again. I'm sure you'll tell it to all the people how I can't play the metronome. Why don't we do this? Hello, Snow Bunny. Good morning, Mr. Patriot. I appreciate all the red, white, and blue. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, I'm one of those people who do not believe in flying two flags. You see those pens? You know, you live here. We all live here. Let's remember that we live here. It's nice to go visit other places, but it's nice to come back to your family and your friends and your countrymen. And that's the way we got to look at it because we've got a lot of nonsense, ethnic BS going on here that should have stopped a long time ago. Yeah, I think the 60s Flower Children were right, Miss Snow Bunny, about the environment, about loving who you want, about let's get rid of some of the animus in the society, and let's stop the bad cops, and we're still all dealing with that. Uh, so, in the sense of that, I'm your patriotic hippie, I suppose. I'm gonna go take care of Dougie. Something tells me I will be back today. Because when his pops comes and get him, oh Kalu Kale, I shall skip through the clover and come back here and I'm coming, Dougie. Come back here and play some goodness with you. Uh, but yeah, I was gonna let this be the last 10 minutes as we wrap up. So remember, after we do some guitar playing, let's try and do some very light stretches just to make sure we, you know, we I don't know what am I trying to say. we don't stress anything out. We want to shake free our hands. Like we've got some blood in there now. That's good. Shake it out. We want to remember that we have to do some work on our forearms, not just massage work, but maybe, I don't know, push-ups or squeezing tennis balls or something. Uh, some of you don't need it because you work with your hands already. But these are the things that I'm finding out that I need. It is Sunday morning, like I said. If you were here earlier, you got some of your religious needs filled. So uh, we're gonna count that as like practicing guitar, putting music back in the universe, getting good things back in the universe. We're counting that as church. That's what God wants, right? Um, Not gonna take shots at your preacher or anything, but I think he'd appreciate you gathered with like minds and having a coffee and playing a little music just as much as if you got all dressed up and went out to church and listened to some guy tell you about how to be a better person. This is making you a better person. Music makes you a better person, right? It's discipline. God likes discipline. So you're learning music and chords and notes. And it's communal. We're here talking to each other. God likes community. Um, yeah, so feel good about yourself that, you're messing with music now. That is a good, powerful, great, and it's one of the greatest gifts that, if you believe in God, as I do, one of the greatest gifts that God has ever given to people. And mind you, we all civilizations before we knew each other were there. We all came up with music and we all came up with dance, right? So they may not all look the same or sounded the same, but we all came up with music and dance in different pockets of the globe before we knew how big the globe was and where everybody else was. So this is your legacy, right? I'm trying to be a blues man. It's my most recent American legacy to music. But quite frankly, music is your legacy, no matter where you are or the kind of type of music you play. It goes back to 10,000 years ago, right? When we were learning what fire was. So yeah, it's your music. Even whistling. Some people don't like whistling, but once you get this, you can whistle a melody in your head and know what it is. And if you don't have any, I'm like, I keep using the subway because I'm from New York. But like, if we knew music, like, ooh, and you were able to write it down without an instrument. You see what I'm saying? This is where you want to be. And in a year, you may be at a barbecue and pick up your nephew's guitar and play something. He'd be like, "Oh, it's Sophie. I didn't know you played guitar. Oh, just mess around." And all of a sudden, he's a little more impressed with you. He's got another artist in the family. He didn't know he had that. I grew. Everybody in the family knew I grew drawing up. I drew, growing. I drew, grown. I drew as a child. How's that? Um, and I wanted to do all this other artsy stuff. And then I found out like years later that I have an aunt who's an actress who did like movies and Law and Order and all this stuff. And I was like, what? If I had known that when I was 12, man, I'd have been like, I mean, this is what you do. You want to inspire the young in your family, right? And they'll go out into the world and inspire everybody else. Uh, that's a truth. So let's remember art, like I said earlier, we plant a little seed in the soil of our of our soul, and we are watering this seed with hard work, and that seedling will become a musical sapling, then a musical tree, then a musical oak standing, and you can't ever take that from you once you know it, right? It's in your subconscious forever, and when you get to meet your maker, he'll go, "Hey, let me also say you left the good life, but man, you learned that thing. We looked at, we checked it on you, man. You better get your ass in here, man. Tell us that story." And now you're playing the ukulele or the mandolin or the guitar or the piano or the flute or the horn to God and Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad and Yahweh and the Great Spirit. And you've got people sitting in like, Elvis and Fats Domino and Lou Waller and Django Reinhardt. And you're like, wow, I'm glad I picked this up. Right. Meanwhile, all the people who want to be down, like George Washington and Abraham, they're just watching you. Gandhi, he's sitting over going, I should have learned to play something. That sitar, I should have known. All the cool people in heaven. First of all, there are no racists in heaven, remember that. But all the people who are there play an instrument. Everybody likes those guys. And there are no boy bands in heaven. Sorry. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna work our melody. We're gonna start trying to sing and work on our melody like 6 months from now. But that for us, that is not as far away as you think. Because like I said, we're cruising at this thing. And once I learn how to deal with uh, comments into my zone, like Dougie, I'll be better able to deal with that and still play, deal with that and still play, and not whine and complain and cry about it to you. And I appreciate you listening to me whine, complain, and cry about it. But I realize that's not why you're here. We want to be social and communicable. I want you to know a little about me. Hopefully down the line I can learn a little bit about you. But what we want is the most thing is the music, right? That's what we want. We don't want to get sidetracked from it. We don't want to miss any days. We want to take it leisurely, but take it but we want to take it leisurely, but we want to take it seriously. And we, like I said, are musicians already, right? We don't have to wait till we know a song or till we're messing with it already. I mean, we goofed around with a song, I think, today, right? And like I said, the 5 chords, maybe you can, and some notes. So maybe you could just write like a super simple thing in a year, beef it up. So, I mean, there are no, uh, there are no locks on Storybox. You know what I'm saying? There's a shout out for some of you who may not know what that reference is. All right, so we've got a minute and a half to sign off. Remember, we've been on for 2 hours and about 15 or so minutes. We did some practicing. We didn't do enough because my fingers don't hurt like they should. Uh, Although I'm frustrated because they were all just, my fingers were all thumbs. No disrespect to my thumb. You did a good job. You were the only one cooperating. I don't even want to look at this hand because you had trouble holding the pick and you had trouble hitting notes. You were skipping strings. You were just, we're going to work on you. No hate, no hate, but we got to work on you. The way you guys hold the pick, no. Something's the way the whole thing. Yeah, no. We're going to work on you. You're going to be fine. Fingers, I don't hold your head in shame. You're new, but man, a little more energy. Pinky, you got to work. So we know what we need to work on. We're all fine. I know we all don't like the metronome because the metronome is not part of it, but we're going to internalize the metronome. So we don't want the lead hand, the strum hand to be, nobody's the lead hand. We don't want the strum hand to have an issue with the fret hand, and we don't want the strum or the fret hand or the soul of me to have an issue with the metronome. We're going to clean all this out in about 3 months. We're all going to look back at this, my left hand, my right hand, myself, and the metronome, and we're just going to laugh about how bad we thought we was. And here we go. And that's it. I leave you to your Sunday. Remember, you got a little religion in here. You got a little politics in here. You got a lot of music in here. No, you got some movie recommendations. Yeah, go watch Yes Man and Bruce Almighty. Those two are, in my opinion, super underrated, great movies from Jim Carrey. We know his big, like Dumb and Dumber, I'm a huge fan of. It's just so good. Its goofiness reminds me of an outsized goofiness of What About Bob? Bob is like that, just with one guy and low key. And I think but I just said it. Yeah, What About Bob? I'm sailing. Yeah. So watch movies that make you chuckle. They may not make you, but they're instantly watchable over and over again. But yeah, Bruce Almighty and Yes Man. Yes Man is my favorite. I've got blisters on my fingers. All right, I got love for you. I will see you tonight for the evening session, 20 minutes or so of daily guitar practice, day 9 p.m. It'll probably say Dougie's gone or some nonsense. And then we move on. And we're going to start writing down the shows and the show names just to keep a little sort of in our head who said what when we said it. Just professionalize up our stuff because every few months we're going to get a little more professional. We're going to because we're taking this seriously. This is a life changing event. Knowing music is a life changing event, right? So we're we're uh, we're going to be on our grind. Again, I want to thank everyone who came through. You magnificent bastards. I hope all of you will join us tonight. I should have put some hashtags in here. Maybe I'll write down some. See, we're going to get professional. We're gonna okay. We're gonna shut this off. We're gonna end the stream with a prayer. No, I'm just kidding you. We're gonna end the stream, and hopefully I see you tonight. And if I can't see you, if you don't make it tonight, I'll be here tonight. Then hopefully I see you tomorrow, Monday morning, just 20 minutes. Just keep guitar music and the knowledge and need and want and love and lust for it in our head before we head out the door into the world in our daily life. We're gonna do a little bit of that, probably like I said, half an hour. And then tomorrow night we'll do 7 p.m. likely. And then the next day we'll do 7 a.m. The next day 7 p.m. Up until I'll see you again next Sunday, and then you'll say I'll tell you the same thing I just told you, and you'll think it's deja vu, like I just said yesterday, and I said this morning, and I said last night, and I said yesterday morning that we will be here, and we are hopefully that you will be here with us on this journey. The cosmos is grand and God is great, and you are made of both those things, right? The cosmic dust that you are makes you magnificent. If you believe that God made you out of the clay of all of this, you are still magnificent. Don't. I mean, know where you agree. you know, uh, both those groups want good things for everybody, and both those groups can stand to play more music. So I will see you. Whoop, 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 in the next one. Thank you. See you next time.